So I know my next video was supposed to be about Ronnie Radke and Spirit Box, but after the Nintendo Direct came out, I just have to talk about it. So there's gonna be probably minimal edits, besides like putting up pictures of the games and stuff, so yeah, so here we go. So before we actually get into talking about the Switch 2, I do want to talk about a few other things. So first of all, Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream is one of the upcoming games for the just like general Nintendo Switch. It will likely be playable on Switch 2 as well, but it's basically an Animal Crossing version of Tamagotchi Life from what the trailer shows. You know, it's just like an open island game, and you know, the robotics sounding voices come back from the first game, Tamagotchi Life, on the 3DS. And I'm gonna be honest, Tamagotchi Life was an absolute banger of a game. So seeing Tamagotchi Life in like an Animal Crossing open island type thing, it will be interesting to say the least. I can't say now if it'll be good, but it will exist. And the other thing was Pokemon Legends ZA. It's an RCS sequel. It will take place in Lumio City from Pokemon X and Y. The enemy, I don't know if this is really an enemy or like an evil corporation, but is Quasartico Inc. I really hope I'm saying that right. So I have no idea. You know, I've never played RCS, so I don't know anything about that. So we'll leave it in the hands of fate. Now, moving aside from the games, there is the virtual game cards. And this is where things sort of get interesting. So, upon purchase of a digital game, whether on the Switch 1 or Switch 2, I'm assuming, upon purchase of the digital game, it can load onto the system as a virtual game card. I don't know if this virtual game card will be physical. I'm pretty sure it is from what I've seen. I don't know if I think it will just be like one card, and it will be labeled as the virtual game card, and you put it into your system, and it works as the new menu and stuff. So, yeah, you can like use this virtual game card to transfer games from Switch to Switch. I think you can only do it between two different Nintendo Switches, and the games can be transferred between, you know, Nintendo family group members. But for the family group members, you can only lend one game at a time to one person at a time. So like, you can't transfer Super Mario Wonder to two different people at the same time. And the games can be lent out for about 2 weeks before they automatically return to you. So if you just forget to play a game that was lent to you, oh well, it's gone now. And basically, one virtual game card contains different games of your choosing, which you can arrange between the two Switches of your choice. And you can download and play and uninstall, save your data, whatever. It's kind of weird. I don't think this will be like the next big thing for Nintendo, but it will definitely probably be popular, assuming it's done right. So, moving on to the Nintendo Switch 2, this is where things get kind of insane. You'll see why later. So, first of all, the release date is slated for June 5th of this year, which is about 2 months away. And they revealed a bunch of new games at the Direct. Obviously, the first one, I believe, that's going to be debuting with the system is Mario Kart World. And, you know, just classic Mario Kart. It always comes as a bundle with the Switch on the release day. But this one is actually going to be unique because, one, you can take pictures in game with whoever you're playing with. There's free roam. Free roam as in like open world like Zelda Breath of the Wild. That is insane for Mario Kart because, you know, whenever you try to go somewhere that's not on the road, the Lakitu will like pick you up and manually move you to the road again. So with free roam, you can actually explore the world. And, you know, there's stuff to do with the free roam. I don't remember what it is, but you can do that. You can take pictures, whatever. And the graphics are absolutely insane. Every game I'm going to talk about here, the graphics are insane. And that's like the one good thing about the Nintendo Switch 2. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's like the only good thing. So like, other games include Donkey Kong Bonanza. I've never been a big Donkey Kong fan, so I don't know what to say about this. There's Kirby Air Riders. And this is, I think it's called Bloons Tower Defense Pop on the mobile phones and stuff. Basically, like, instead of the normal tower defense things you do in Bloons, you can like play as the super monkey and just fly through the air popping balloons, kind of like a bubble shooter game. So like it's kind of like that. Not really, but Kirby Air Riders is basically a flight game. So you'll probably be riding the Warp Star everywhere. I don't remember I don't actually know what Kirby Air Ride was about, but it's basically just a sequel to that. There's also Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I don't know what's different. I looked at the trailer, I'm pretty sure it's just the same game with like some bug fixes or something. But in addition to Forgotten Land, hear me out, it's a double game for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Kirby Star-Crossed World. And more insane graphics. The game actually looks pretty good from the trailers. You know, it's like Kirby, but there's giant crystals flowing out of the sky, so that's already pretty cool as it is. And then of course we have a new Mario Party, Super Mario Party Jamboree. It's kind of like normal Mario Party, except like the big difference is that you can use the Nintendo Switch camera. I'll talk more about it later, but the Nintendo Switch camera, from what I've seen, looks completely useless. They're hyping it up so much for Game Chat and Mario Party, but in all honesty, I don't think it's going to be as big of a hit as Nintendo thinks it will be, because like, why would you want to see your face and other people's faces in the middle of your screen while you're trying to party? That's just not what gamers want. Maybe if you're playing with the family, it will be funny, but if you're playing with friends or something, I doubt anybody would want to see that. So that's just my take on it. But yeah. So the other big game is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. It's basically the backstory that leads into Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't actually beaten Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't beat any Zelda games except for, let me get this right, except for the remake of Link's Awakening and A Link Between Worlds for the Nintendo 3DS. Yeah, that's pretty sad. I basically haven't beaten any Nintendo game except for like a select few Mario games. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that, but we will. So yeah, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment looks pretty good though. It has a Twilight Princess-esque Ganondorf design. So as a huge fan of Twilight Princess, another game I haven't beaten, and I actually lost a disc when I was younger, so I had no way to play it until I got a new one recently. It looks insane, as always, as do all these other games. And before we get to the final game that was, kind of revealed in air quotes, we have just like two random games, Drag X Drive, which is, if you read Slam Dunk, right, you'll probably know that there's another manga made by the same creator as Slam Dunk called Real, and it's basically wheelchair basketball. Some people consider it better than Slam Dunk. I've never read it. I haven't read the Slam Dunk manga yet. But yeah, so Drag X Drive is basically wheelchair basketball, except you use your controllers, you use your Nintendo Switch controllers, right? Like computer mice. That is something I don't think I'll ever be able to do, but it's gonna happen. And then there was also the Dusk Bloods, which is just like another horror combat game. Nothing too special. And by the way, the Kirby and Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition and Star-Crossed World, that drops on August 28th of this year. So it will be a hefty like 3 months before it comes out on the Switch, but it'll still be fun. Now, the other game I wanted to talk about was Hollow Knight Silk Song. From what I gather, this was announced in 2019. I've never played a Hollow Knight game, I've never played a Shovel Knight game, I've never played or seen anything in these two franchises for that matter, so I can't give you a detailed description of anything here. I just like took the basic points from the direct, and that's what I'm presenting you here. Yeah, it's slated for a 2025 release, so it's likely gonna be on the Switch 2. I really hope they release it on the Switch 1, because I will want to play the Hollow Knight games, and I will eventually catch up to Silk Song, probably in 5 years, but I don't know if I really plan on buying a Switch 2 it seems pretty trivial to do so since, you know, there's a new Kirby game, there's a new Mario Kart, Mario Party, there's Donkey Kong, Hyrule Warriors. I can play all of those on the Nintendo Switch. So I probably won't be getting it, but that doesn't mean you won't. You can spend your $500. So moving on, you know, there's not that much other information that I've gathered from this. You know, like I was talking about before, the Nintendo Switch camera. It's probably not gonna be a hit at all, if we're being honest. The only thing I gathered from that is it will be used for Super Mario Party Jamboree, and it will be available upon release of the Switch 2, which will be June 5th. And really, I really don't think this is a good idea, but you know, it's gonna happen. The other really important thing here is Game Chat. Nintendo Game Chat. We had WeChat, why not add Game Chat? This is basically a mix of like Discord and PlayStation Network messages. I mean, just looking at the trailer, you can very clearly see it is based off of Discord. And as if the WeChat wasn't enough, like I used WeChat once, I think. And I was talking to like some guy I met on the Wii U. I don't think I talked to him much after that because like the Wii U fell off. I moved to PC gaming. So that's a thing. But the use that the Nintendo Switch camera has for game chat is that you can obviously turn on a webcam or turn on the camera and you'll appear on your screen like a green screen. Like Discord, because obviously Discord has screen sharing, so game chat has screen sharing. You can share your game with everyone else. You can like switch between different people's games, and if you're screen sharing, you will show up on your own screen share as just your face. I don't know how that works, if it just edits out the background by itself or if you have to choose that, but it does its thing. Obviously, Game Chat has parental controls too, and there's an open access period that ends on March 31st of 2026. So, Game Chat is honestly the one thing I have really iffy feelings about. Like, the Switch camera, like, I will straight up tell you I don't like it. But with Game Chat, it's like you don't know how it will go. Because you will only be chatting with, like, your friends and family and people you choose. It's not like you just hop in a call and some random person will be there. It's not like you're in a Call of Duty lobby. But I'm assuming that there's a way you can activate it in games. Like if you're playing Splatoon, then you can like activate game chat with anybody else who's using it in Splatoon. You can talk to other Splatoon players. I'm assuming that's how it will work. I don't know yet. But yeah, really you don't know how this could go, because if it's like I said and you can use it with random people in random games, game chat could easily be shut off. Because trust me, that's not going to be a good thing. I have first-hand experience with something like that. When Minecraft for the Wii U, I never had an Xbox or PlayStation growing up, so I played on the Wii U. And there was a voice chat. You had to go deep into settings to disable it if you wanted to. You couldn't talk to people, you couldn't hear anybody. But especially nowadays, I feel like on something like the Nintendo Switch, people know that Nintendo is a kids' family console. So you could have any grown man go on there and start shouting slurs at you. And that's like the one thing that is really concerning about game chat. I don't know how it's gonna work out. I really hope, like, because the Wii U, at least when I played Minecraft, it was other kids on there, and you could really hear it in their voice. Like, no one ever tried to do anything. You know, some people swore a couple times. That was about it. How is this gonna go? I don't know. But yeah. So now that we've gotten all that out the way, the real thing I want to talk about is how insane Nintendo is. Because I got inspiration for this video from Moist Critical. You can probably see where this is going. The prices for the Nintendo Switch 2 games are going to be $80 to $90. Absolutely insane. $80, like the standard Nintendo game nowadays is like $60, and that's still pushing it. And they're saying like $80 for digital downloads. $90 for physical copies. And these physical copies are allegedly just going to be a code in a box. This is insane, Nintendo. Why would you do this to us? Just why? You know, like, it's pretty stupid. And, you know, like Moist Critical said, this is probably just going to inflate games even more. Like, let's say PlayStation and Microsoft, they see, hey, Nintendo's selling their games for 80 to 90 bucks. Why don't we do the same? And it's gonna start inflating games and all going up different prices. We're gonna be like up hundreds of dollars just for games. And like Charlie also said, GTA 6 is probably gonna be $100+ So Nintendo is not setting a good example. They just want money. We get that. But you cannot be doing this. Like, sure, if you raise your prices by like $5, $10, that'd be understandable. $70, I still don't think you should pay that much for a game unless you're getting a bundle. But why? So that's really all I got for this video. I just wanted to rant about the Direct and stuff. So, you know, the Direct was actually like, what do you call it? The Nintendo Switch 2 console overview was actually out-trended. Is that what you would say? Like, South Park Season 27's trailer trends more higher than Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know what you say, but South Park Season 27 is trending higher. Obviously, the Direct itself is trending much higher than South Park. But it's an insane ride, and these prices are insane. So aside from like Hyrule Warriors and maybe Kirby Star-Crossed World, those are really the only two things that excited me from this Direct. Obviously, they've got that Tomodachi Life game and Legends ZA, but those I think are gonna be available on the Switch 1 as well. So we'll see. Well, I can't talk right now. We'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.